welcome to Love, Laugh, Live Chat Show.
प्यार करो हंसो ते जुग जुग जियो वाला शो शुरू करने तो पहला ये कहना है जीना है तो ऐसे जिए जीना है तो ऐसे जिए हर सोच में प्यार शांति खुशबू आवे.
This means let's live our lives with thoughts of love, peace and joyful fragrance.
Yes, and so my name is Davinder Ubi and I'm a life and spiritual coach, and I'd love to introduce my lovely co-host.
And my name is Gurdial Garcha and I'm an empowerment and resilience coach. So Dav, what's our topic for today?
So आज का topic हैगा, we're talking about the 7 chakras, the consciousness centers, what is their purpose and how they affect our well-being. So the मतलब किया and साडे शरीर ते कितना असर पैंदा. And so पिछले हफ्ते we did discuss the Pella chakra, which is called the root chakra, and all the themes around feeling grounded, feeling about safe and security. So Aj, we are going to discuss the second chakra, which is called the sacral chakra, and we'll go more in depth and explain how it affects our sarite, sari thinking, lekita sarapenda.
So just to let you know a little bit about chakra, just in case you didn't watch last week's program. So the chakra is Sanskrit word for wheel, which is spinning coloured light that's within our body. So the first recorded writing about this chakras originates in India around 1500 BC. So we've heard that everything around us is light, energy, that's within us and all around us. And some people will call this spirit, God, Rab, Paramatma. So this energy, like I said, is all around us, and this keeps us strong and healthy, but it also helps with our spiritual and material bodies to keep them alive and vibrant. But how does it do that?
Yes, so I'm going to use it. I showed this picture hafte as well. So if you look at this diagram picture here, ajare rang birange gol gol je hage ina chakras kende a, and 7 hage ne chakras, and pichle hafte we did the root chakra and aaj we're doing the sacral chakra. So our spiritual and etheric body and our soul corresponds to our physical body. So I'm going to explain to I hope doctor, this is not a chakra, we call this the nucleus of the soul, and in other words spark of God or God's spark. And etto is situation, like you said, on top of the crown chakra. This is the crown chakra, and the energy you're talking about, chi, prana, paramatma, energy flows actually through this nucleus and goes through there, and then it flows down on the left side of the body, down this way into the collective basin here, and then it goes down, the spirit energy, the energy flows back up through there, the right side, and through the nucleus and back to the God's powerful energy. And on its way, the spirit energy runs along these 7 junctions, which are called the consciousness centers, or we call the chakras. And the matlab of these chakras is to actually distribute it up the energy, and it distributes it through the meridians, these pathways, and through the nerves to the individual organs. But each one there'll be organs around it. So it up the energy organs no feed karte hai. And so each chakra, if you look, it's like a pulsating rang barange, and it rotates round and round, because the rotation is the energy flowing, and through the rotation this rab the energy goes to the organs hege. So in a healthy body, the spirit rab the energy, prana chi, flows through the parts of the organism without any obstructions. There's no blockages. That's a healthy body. It is only when an organ, like we say organ like the heart, liver, kidneys, all these like organs, jangita rab the energy which nahi sufficiently jandi, etho fir bimari shuru hundi hai. So what happens is when the respective energy chakra block ho jande, obstruction ho jande, that's when all cells in the body become sluggish and ill. So how can these blockages happen, Gurdial? You can explain that one.
Excuse me. The reason the blockages happen is when our thoughts or our behaviours or actions go against what we would describe as God, which is love. So it could be being self-centered, selfish, just being neglecting yourself, neglecting others. So all the negative things that you can possibly think of, that is when that will cause the blockages to happen within your body. So this is what happens with our etheric body, our soul, because all of this will correspond to our physical body. So the center of our spiritual body is these chakras. So we need to kind of focus on that, because that is the spark of God. And, you know, it keeps our spiritual and material bodies alive and vibrant.
So like you said, anything that goes against a thinking or thought or behavior goes against love, because love is God.
Yeah.
That's when the blockages happen and obstructions come, when the energy is not flowing freely.
Yeah.
So
medicine can help, but we don't want you to sort of think that this is the only way to kind of, you know, get rid of these negative things which could be going on in your body. Medicine's got its own place, and we would never say to you, don't take medical advice from, you know, your doctors or anywhere like that. So just to continue. Yeah,
like you're saying, but medicine do help, but really when we want to get to the root cause, I feel that this is where the healing happens. You know, medicine sort of like, it's on the surface, but this, what we're talking about today,
is inner healing.
Is inner healing that we can get to and understand where the thought process is, and that's where we change, you know, where the energy is flowing. Energy is everything.
Or it's stuck, isn't it?
That's right, yes.
Yeah. So let's now discuss in depth the sacral chakra. So the sacral chakra, otherwise known as in Hindu, Svadhisthana, which is it's a lovely word when you think about, you know, when you say it.
I like saying it, Swadhisthana.
Yeah. So the sacral energy chakra, or Svadhisthana, is the second chakra of the body's 7 main chakras, or the energy centers. It forms when we are between the age of 8 and 14, and this is when we have a sense of our own self-identity, and that's where it starts.
About relationships and things,
and what's going on around them and things like that.
So the energy center, I showed you on the picture, it sits about 2 inches below the belly button, and it's all about creativity, sexual energy, and relating to all our emotions and the emotions of others. So how you connect with yourself and other people in this world, including with the society and who we live in, your family, your friends, and is strongly controlled by a sacral chakra. So it's really just ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੂਸਰਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਕਨੈਕਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸੋਸਾਇਟੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਅਸਰ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਸਾਡੇ sacral energy ਦੇ. And when someone is a balanced, the chakra balance hoya na, that person comes across very warm, very confident, generous, calm. Then you know the sacral energy center is balanced. The energy is freeing, quite flowing naturally and beautifully. So when the sacral chakra is out of balance, just a blockage hoyi hundi hai, that person, individual, is going through fears, emotional fears, feeling overwhelmed, depression, udasi, disconnection, emotional instability, loss of creativity, koi shauk nahi hega kuch cheez karan vaste, feeling just too much pressure around life, and then usually have very sort of negative addictions, like addictions to drugs or food or behaviors, but very negative ones. So this is where you know that the sacral chakra is balanced and the blockage hoya the energy sufficiently jandi nahi hegi.
So the sacral chakra has been associated with the emotional body, you know, the sensuality and the creativity, function of allowing us to freely and openly feel sensory pleasure. ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ sensory pleasure ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, we're talking about touch, smell, sight, sound and taste. ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਛੇੜਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ, smell ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪੂਰਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਵਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ ਹੈ, and we enjoy it. So it has a large influence on on our feelings ਵੀ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਤੇ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਤੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਫੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨਸ਼ਿਪਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਵੀ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਡੂੰਘਾਈ 'ਚ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ so it's all about how we feel when we're thinking about other people our creative expression ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ creative expression ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੀਆਂ ਲੱਗਦੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ sacral ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ energy ਹੈਗੀ ਉਹ balance ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ so ਜਦੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਸੋਚ ਆ ਉਹ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ and ਸਾਡੀ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨਸ਼ਿਪ ਵੀ ਹੈਲਥੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਤੇ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ we can say it in a clear and kind way without feeling judged ਤਾਂ ਨਾਲੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਲਾਈਫ ਤੇ ਰਾਹ 'ਚ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਵੀ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ
so enjoying the pleasures of life
ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਫਿਕਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ we can take it in our stride but more specifically a blocked sacral chakra can manifest in two ways so ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਚੈਕਰਾ ਬਲੌਕ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਦੋ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਅੰਡਰਐਕਟਿਵ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਆ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਓਵਰਐਕਟਿਵ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਆ ਅੰਡਰਐਕਟਿਵ so ਅੰਡਰਐਕਟਿਵ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਓਵਰਐਕਟਿਵ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਥੱਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਆ ਸੋ ਸਾਡੀ ਸੋਚ ਜਾਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਆ ਬਟ ਡੈਵ ਨੇ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਵੀ ਸਿੰਪਟਮਸ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਅੰਡਰਐਕਟਿਵ ਹੋਵੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਾਲਾ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਓਵਰਐਕਟਿਵ ਜਦੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਆ
so underactive like you were saying ਜਦੋਂ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ is quite slow and so but before I mention any of that ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ please remember that this is meant as a guidance only and it's not a substitute for medical advice which might better explain some of your symptoms in some cases but we personally believe this is also valuable information and we always need to try thinking make your own decision so like I said there is symptoms for underactive sacral energy is lack of creativity and like I said another way you can explain that ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ hobby ਹੋਵੇ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੌਕ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹ ਚ interest ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਚਾਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ and you just feel like you're just thinking I don't want to waste my time here ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ that sort of ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਦਤ and thinking is usually means that your lack of creativity and your sacral is very underactive and the other one is sluggishness laziness ਇਹਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਬੰਦਾ ਸੁਸਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਉੱਠਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਮੈਂ ਮੰਜੇ 'ਚ ਪਏ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਮੈਂ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਤੇ you just lazy you know I don't feel like cooking today you know ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਕੁਛ ਉੱਠੇ that's another sign that you are underactive and also there's one you don't want to be intimate with your partner that's another one or feeling emotionally numb it's just feeling flat you know you're not feeling high you're not feeling low you're feeling like just flat that's another symptom and the other one is inability to express emotions so I say like oh someone's feeling kinne emotions ho gaye like sadness hoye gussa hoye kuch bhi hoye you know you just dabi rakhde you know you just don't have it in you that I want to express that I'm feeling like this you just feeling I just don't care
ਅੰਦਰ ਹੀ ਰੱਖੀ ਆ ਨਾ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਦਬਾ ਕੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਗਮੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਦਬਣੀ so you kind of just on a like this rather than being a bit like this
flat so the other one symptom ਹੈਗਾ lack of excitement and joy किस चीज़ की थोड़ा कोई शौक नहीं again you know excited about anything you know even like to say family or having a good laugh watching a comedy or something and you just don't feel the excitement you don't see the joy in it there again another symptom thoda sacral is imbalance and indecisiveness when you just you know you can't make a decision you know you're sitting on the fence saying pata nahi main kara na kara you know like oh I don't know I don't care sort of again attitude hai na
slah nahi bana sakte
slah nahi bana sakte that's it exactly and then the other one is symptom is feeling unworthy and feeling unloved कि मैंने कोई प्यार नहीं करता you know मैंने कोई कदर नहीं करता that sort of thinking that is a very symptom that's quite common and then another दूसरा है feeling shame you know sharamandi or something or guilt that's another symptom and the other one we got controlling behavior or codependence that's when we Codependence, which is like I depend on someone else to make me feel better, to make me happy, to make me feel loved. As a kisse nu ho de dende responsibility because we feel empty in ourselves. Sanu apne pata nahi hai how to give myself responsibility, but we give it to somebody else, and that's actually very unhealthy because that actually pushes people away. The other one's the inability to be spontaneous. That is like when we another like procrastination चीज़ उसी delay करी जाने में फे कर लो कोई ना, you know, that sort of attitudes when it's just a way of कुछ चीज़ करने वालिया, you know, ਉਹਦੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੈ but you just delay it, है ना?
I think another one for that one is when inability to be spontaneous is ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਹੋ ਆ ਜਾਓ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿਨੇਮੇ ਨੂੰ ਚੱਲੀਏ ਜਾਂ ਆ ਜਾਓ ਆਪਾਂ, so ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਛੱਡ ਪਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿਲ ਕਰਦਾ, so that's the inability is to be spontaneous.
ਮੈਂ ਸੋਚਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਜੇ that sort of thing, है ना?
ਵੀ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਝਟਕੀ ਪਟਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਲਾਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਣ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮਨ ਹੋਰ ਕਿਤੇ ਆ.
Yeah. And then there's a fear of change. ਬੰਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਡਰਦੇ ਆ to get out of their comfort zone, ਕੁਝ ਨਵੀਂ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਰੇ because ਉਹ ਡਰ ਹੈਗਾ maybe fear of failure, ਕੁਝ ਗਲਤ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ, so it keeps you stuck in that box, doesn't it? And you can't experience all the greatness in life. And the other one is sharmana, being shy. That usually when somebody actually has no confidence, they don't have self-esteem, है ना, बहुत low हुंदी है. So that sort of person, somebody might think shy, they're so sweet, isn't it nice? But usually shy people, they're very low, you know, underactive sacral chakra. So those are the symptoms of underactive. But Gudal, you got some symptoms to overactive sacral chakra.
So जिथे overactive है, जिथे ज़्यादा काम करता है. So again, असी कहना है भी आ guidance है कि ये नहीं है कि असी थानू कहने हैं कि तुसी डॉक्टर देना जाओ जे get medical advice. पर ये है भी जेड़ा तुसी अंदरला काम कर सकते हैं आप to start a healing process is within, what I would say, within yourself. Andron. So this is where it's overactive. So you're feeling over emotional. भी तुसी चट रोन लग पैंदे हैं, ज़्यादा हसन लग पैंदे हैं, या तुसी अपना situation देखते नहीं हैं कि you can be insensitive, ता you know ता तुसी drama भी like कर दें life
over dramatic.
कोश ना कोश होता रहता. We all know somebody like that. I'm sure we do.
Yeah, गल कुछ नहीं होती बैठा बड़ा पहाड़.
Yeah, पहाड़ is a really good word. So ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਇਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ where ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਜ਼ੀਕਲੀ ਅਟਰੈਕਟਿੰਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਬੰਦ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ. ਸੋ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਰਿਸ਼ਤਾ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਆ you know or something like that, that's another symptom. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਮੈਂ I don't feel like I'm good enough for that person, so ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਨੂੰ ਹਟ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ. ਪਰ ਦੂਜੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਹੈਗੇ unhealthy attachment to others, ਤਾਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਮੋਹ. ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੈਠੀਆਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਾਮ ਕ੍ਰੋਧ ਲੋਭ remember that same time. So ਇਹਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਫਿਕਰ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਕੱਲਾ ਜਾਂ ਕੱਲੀ ਰਹਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੀ. ਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਤੋਂ ਡਰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੋਚਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਰਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਕੱਲਾ ਜਾਂ ਕੱਲੀ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਵਾਂ.
But that usually means when one is disconnected ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, and that's when ਦੂਸਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਟੈਚਮੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ. ਤਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਹੈਗਾ aggression, ਕਿ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫਿਜ਼ੀਕਲੀ ਵਰਬਲੀ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਲੀ ਡਿਸਟਰਪਟਿਵ ਹੈਗੇ. ਫਿਜ਼ੀਕਲੀ ਕਿ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੁੱਟ ਮਾਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਜਾਂ ਵਰਬਲੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੱਧ ਘੱਟ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ ਬਗੈਰ you know you're not being kind really. Emotionally ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਨੂੰ ਘਟੀਆ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ. ਡਿਸਟਰਪਟਿਵ ਕਿ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ. ਕੋਈ ਜਵਾਬ ਦੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਪੁੱਠਾ you know aggressive ਜਵਾਬ
ਬਗੈਰ ਸੋਚੇ
lash out ਹੈ ਨਾ, short fuse.
That's a reaction as opposed to a response. Selfishness ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹੋ, ਹੋਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ. Manipulative behavior, ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਟਰਾਈ ਕਰਦੇ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ, ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ situation. Definitely. Jealousy. So ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਦੀ ਕਦਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ. ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਸ਼ੌਂਕ ਨਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਕੁਛ, ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਜੈਲਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਆਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖੂਬੀਆਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ 'ਚ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ. ਬਟ ਇਟਸ ਅ ਨੈਗੇਟਿਵ ਥੋਟ. ਮੂਡ ਸਵਿੰਗਸ. ਸੋ ਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮੂਡ ਉੱਪਰ ਨੂੰ ਆ ਨਾ ਥੱਲੇ ਨੂੰ, ਕਦੇ no actually ਉੱਪਰ ਨੂੰ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਨਾਲੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ. So your mood is all over the place. So you're feeling ruled by your emotions. जे कोई उच्ची नीवीं गल भी हो जाए एकदम तुसी रिएक्ट करना है कि तुसी ठंडे दिमाग नाल नहीं सोचना भी कोई नहीं, लेट्स सिट डाउन एंड आप बैठ के ये बारे गल करते हैं, सो यू जस्ट रिएक्ट लाइक दैट। पोर बाउंड्रीज, सो पोर बाउंड्रीज आर वेयर तुसी जे तुहानू कोई कहे भी आ काम करना है थोड़ी च हिम्मत नहीं होंदी भी हाँ भी कहना भी नहीं मेरा दिल नहीं करता, सो यू डोंट रिस्पेक्ट योरसेल्फ इनफ टू से लुक I don't want to do that today भी मेरा नहीं दिल करता भी तुसी जाओ वो मैं नहीं जाना, so that's poor boundaries। पर आ जिहड़े sacral चक्र है ये उच्चा नीवा हुंदा रहिंदा आ, सो ये बारे सोचना पैना, पर 6 तरीके हैगे आ जिथे तुसी बैलेंस कर सकते हैं अपने चक्र नूं, तां ओहदे बारे डैव ने दसना तुहानूं।
So the first way to balance, we call it working with the colors, because on chakra the color हैगा orange, and each like is all the chakras जिदा मैं थोनों picture दिखा ले से अपने रंग हैगे ने, and it's usually the colors of the rainbow. Yeah, it's all connected, that's why we all interconnected with the world. And so the second one, which is orange color, and so it's good to use this shade when doing sacral chakra work. And sometimes I've noticed sometimes when I see people wearing certain colors they really like, they feel that's where they need the balance. Yeah. Someday I'll be feeling like I want to wear red. I don't know why I'm feeling that way in red, but there's something there that wants me to be grounded more. So somebody's wearing orange, you're thinking, I want to connect more. I want to have, maybe you feel like you want more connection with relationships or something. So this rang, on a subconscious level, it does send these subliminal messages. So yes, and the other one is like, go for foods and nourish the sacral chakras, because kei food tusi khao ne e bhi nourish karda hai, sacral chakra nu balance karda. And speaking of orange, so certain foods are thought to nourish certain chakras, and you can guess the orange foods to go for the sacral chakras. So choosing foods that are in alignment with the sacral is an easy way to help both your physical body and your energetic body. So I would look for foods like nuts and seeds, sweet potato, carrots, melons, mangoes we were saying, pumpkins, orange citrus fruits, butternut squash. I do like that, especially the soup. I don't
like chopping the butternut squash.
But I do like the ones it's nicely cooked. Fermented foods are very good for you. A bit jar bhi hunde fermented, aren't they? So, and hydrate, this is very important, hydrate yourself with pure filtered water infused with orange fruits, because the sacral chakra is very connected to around the water in our body, and it's all about fluidity and everything. So clementines, oranges, tangerines and golden raspberries, these really do help to balance the chakra. And yeah, you've got another one?
So got a couple more here. So do some hip opening stretches or yoga poses. So je tusi karde hain jida aapa chaunkadi marde hain, that's really good for the sacral energy around there. Je tusi beh sakde hain, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ है ना je kuch fasya bhi hoya, like something that's trapped there, it allows that to release out of the body. I mean, I'm not thinking what you're thinking, but we're just talking about trapped energy that could be there, so it just kind of helps it to get moving along. You can do hip opening stretches, some free flowing dance, and the butterfly pose, where you sit similar to a jonkri.
If you think of belly dancing, that's all around your sacral energy. And if you notice the belly dancers, they're very, very in that flow, in that rhythm. So their sacral chakra is very balanced. And all of this, this hip opening and dancing and everything like that helps you connect more with this area. So the other one is chakra balancing meditation. So the best thing to do is to get quiet and tune into the energy center, which it is, you're going to say, is 2 inches below the belly button, and you take 3 deep thin bade saah lene, and then you hold in, and then in the dimag de vich say out loud, you can say, I ask that the highest vibrational love, which is that chi rabdi energy, and I connect with this loving energy, and and asked to clear all the unwanted energy from any previous programming. And you can say that in your mind because you are giving an intention, instruction, a command. And once you say this intention, command, a whole lag jinda. That's the power of our words. And then see yourself, that sacred energy, or the ale dwale which is filling up with orange light. And see it rotating. And then also I usually visualize, it does happen, if you do see any blockage, the blockage which is there like kale whatever, you can see it all disappearing. And that's with the energy that's going and is balancing it. And another thing which is very powerful is a mantra. And you can actually say so hum. So you're taking this, when you're saying so hum, because everything's energy and every word has its own frequency. So every chakra will have its very unique frequency energy. And so hum is the one to heal and balance the sacral chakra. So you can do this 20 minutes a day and it really does help. I start on 20 minutes a day, but I know some people do it 20 minutes morning and evening.
So ये जो meditation है ना निकाल किती है, that's like तुसी अपने मन च सोचना भी orange light हैगी आ इस थैं दे विच धुन्नी दे थल्ले तां ओहदे बारे जेह्ड़ी लो आंदी है ओह भी orange आ. So it's just thinking of it like that, isn't it?
And then because साडी सोच से ना सारा कुछ हुंदा है, इस सोच नाल एकदम होण लग जिंदा. You don't think पता नहीं होंदा कि नहीं. No, it's happening. Although it's happening, the moment you give it whatever you give तुसी ध्यान देने attention देने ना ओह फिर हो ही जांदा. So that's why I say doing this we are doing something very powerful and healing within ourselves.
फिर नाले ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਦੋ ਅੱਖਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ so hum ਉਹ ਹੈਗਾ the meditation mantra, isn't it? Yeah. So मैं कहना सीगा भी पंजवां हैगा एग्जाम्पल जिथे तुसी हेल्प कर सकते हैं अपने आप नू to balance the sacral chakra is to get comfortable with stillness. ਤਾਂ ਇਹਦਾ मतलब हैगा भी तुसी है ना जिथे भी हैगे हैं तुसी used to हो अपने आप कि जिथे क्वाइट या शांत है अपने मन नू भी शांत करना अपने शरीर नू भी शांत करना. तो जिथे थोड़े इमोशंस हैगे या थोड़ी सोचनी हैगी भी उन्होंने भी थोड़ी जी शांत लेके आवो. तो जे थोड़े पार्टनर दे नाल थोड़ा जिहा उच्चा नीमा हैगा उत्थे भी तुसी अटेंशन देवो भी वो भी शांत हो जाए. That's the intimacy with your relations. तो जेड़ा unbalanced हैगा या ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ calm ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ and it becomes more balanced. And you can try mindfulness. So ਇਹ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਆ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ ਪਰ it's really really important for you ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਨੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਬਣਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ and ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ ਫਿਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਵੀ ਜਿੱਥੇ it's healthier ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਫਰੈਂਡਸ ਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਲਈ it's really really good. ਤਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟਿਸ ਕਰੋ ਕਿਤੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟਰਾਈ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਚੌਂਕੜੀ ਬਹਿਣ ਨਾਲ ਤਾਂ smell भी notice करो जिहड़ी चीज़ नूं तुसीं हत्थ लाउने आ you know all the sensations that we've already mentioned. ते नाले छेवीं हैगी आ which is the last one जिहड़ी तुहाडी सोच आ तुसीं ओहदे बारे लिखो. बुक लै लवो कोई सोहनी जी बुक लै लवो ओहदे विच लिखो भी अज मेरे नाल इदां होई अज मेरे नाल इदां होई अज मेरी सोच इदां आ. तां ओह है ना हौली हौली फिर टाइम पा के जदों तुसीं पिछों पढ़दे आ you will learn something from there. तां ओह भी हौली हौली you can create you can stimulate your creative energies. So, I mean, how would you explain that, the creative energies in there?
I suppose, you know, the more we, like you said, you focus on it, and as you're journaling, through the journaling, you see a pattern, a theme.
Yeah, we spoke about this earlier, didn't we?
You see a theme, and you realize that, oh, this has happened to me at Davi Hoisi, or Domi at same cheese Hoisi, I felt the same feeling. I felt the, like you said, disconnection. I felt the anger, the shame, or the guilt. And notice this is how I felt. And then you start, once you become aware of that, and now you can bring creativity into it, like start actually creating a new way of dealing with it. A new way of feeling about the situation, because then where it's the opposite of feeling shame, the opposite of feeling disconnected, the opposite of feeling anger, and that's where the creativity now you because we're the creators of our reality now can create a new way of handling and thinking about situations.
लिखण दे नाल बहुत कुछ हो जांदा करके लिखण दे नाल फिर तुसी आप पढ़ सकदे भी तुसी की सोचिया भी की थोड़ी रिएक्शन सी भी गां जे तुसी शांत रहना जिद्दां मैं तुहानू दस्सिया how to change those reactions. So you were just going to mention, you know, what can you do to change all of this?
As in, was it, but am I happy with the intimacy in my
Yeah,
life?
yeah.
So then you need to ask yourself, then ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ, ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਮੇਰੇ connections a very close connection, physical ਵੀ ਹੋਵੇ, emotional ਵੀ ਹੋਵੇ, ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਵੀ connection, ਮੈਂ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ? Because ਨਹੀਂ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੈਗੇ, then you know imbalance ਹੈਗਾ, ਥੋੜਾ sacral chakra has been blocked.
ਜਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਜੇ what am I currently creating or giving to the world, ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਹਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਹੋਰ ਨਾਲੇ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਲਈ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਨਾਲੇ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਮਦਦ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ, ਨਾਲੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ।
ਸੋ ਫੋਰ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਹ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟਿਵਿਟੀ, ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਸ਼ੌਂਕ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕੀ ਦੇ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਤੇ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਫਾਇਦਾ, ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ। This is us balancing our sacral chakra. So what can you do that you feel that ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਕੁਝ ਦੇ ਸਕਦੀ ਹਾਂ? It's a way of donating, where you can serve the world, humanity. This helps with your balancing the sacral chakra. But when you feel that there's nothing in me, मैं कौन है, मैं तो कोई किसी ने मेरी परवाह नहीं करनी, मेरी कदर नहीं करनी, you know, I'm useless, I'm worthless, then you know that I can't give anything to the world, then you know you got a blockage in the sacral chakra.
ਉੱਥੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ। ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਨੈਗੇਟਿਵ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਉੱਥੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਸਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ, ਉੱਥੋਂ ਡਿਸਕਨੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਰੱਬ ਤੋਂ, ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਤੋਂ। ਉੱਥੇ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੋਗੇ, ਹਲੀਮੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਕਾਈਂਡਨੈਸ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਕਨੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਵੀ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੋਣ ਲੱਗ ਪੈਂਦੀ, ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਕੱਲਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੇਅਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਪਰ ਸਾਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੀ ਕੇਅਰ ਕਰਦੇ। ਪਰ ਐਨੀਵੇ ਹੁਣ ਡੈਵ ਨੇ organs ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਜੇ ਸੈਕਰਲ ਚੈਕਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੈਲੈਂਸਡ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਉਹਦਾ ਅਸਰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੈਲੈਂਸਡ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਨਾਲੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ। ਹਾਂਜੀ,
ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸਮਝਾ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ, ਇੱਕ ਚੈਕਰਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਲੇ ਦੁਆਲੇ organs ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜੇ energy, ਰੱਬ ਦੀ energy ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ, it flows through into the organs ਜੇ balance ਹੋਵੇ। So ਜਿਹੜੇ organs ਮੈਂ discuss ਕਰਨੇ, I think the kidneys and the colon, but ਹੋਰ ਵੀ organs ਹੈਗੇ, but time ਇੰਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ to discuss all the organs, so we'll talk about the two main organs around there. So the kidneys, ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸਰ ਪੈਂਦਾ when we have an unbalanced chakra, sacral chakra. So let's say the thinking around there is about, obviously the function of the kidney is about filtration, to release toxins, and all the, you know, talks about the homeostasis of the water balance in our body. And so all the thinking, the thought could be self-devaluation again. Jitani can say, I don't feel good, I don't value myself, I'm useless, and all that sort of thing. Well, this lack of self-worth, lack of self-confidence, you know, and you're actually just trying to survive, you know, just about. So, and the emotional meanings, like okay, banda darda to be alone, they're scared of being alone. The threat, you know, main kida survive dunia ch, kida main dar hunda of death, how am I going to survive? And the feeling of sara kuch, I've lost everything,
sara kuch gwaach gaya, I don't feel मैंने कोई मदद नहीं मिलती, कोई मैं किसी मदद नहीं दे सकता, मैं किसी मेरी कोई मदद नहीं कर सकता, मेरा कुछ बनूगा कि नहीं, the feeling मेरी life is just falling apart, feeling बैरागी, homesick, है ना, मैंने सारे मैंने भुल गया, मैंने कोई याद नहीं करता, you know, a feeling of everybody's left me, nobody cares about me, fear of one's livelihood, am I able to just manage to stay alive and nourish myself, and feeling bombed out without any help or assistance. So, and the other thoughts that could be associated to kidneys, when somebody says, I feel like I'm just pressured, I just feel I'm drowning, you know, when we say that, I'm just drowning, I'm just about staying afloat, and I just feel I just want to burst open, I just feel surrounded and feeling I'm washed away. Then feeling just like you said, banda feel like the pressure, the hurt ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਥ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ just ਮੈਂ ਡੁੱਬੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਕਲੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਇਨ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੋਚ, ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਲਫ਼ਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਿਡਨੀਜ਼ 'ਤੇ ਅਸਰ ਪੈਂਦਾ। ਐਂਡ ਦਿਸ all comes to ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ when disconnection ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੇ ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਇਹਦੇ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੋਚ ਸਾਡੀ ਫਿਰ ਬਲੋਕੇਜ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ, ਰੱਬ ਦੀ ਐਨਰਜੀ ਫਲੋ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ, ਐਂਡ ਦੈਨ ਉੱਥੇ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ। So I can give you an example. But I was just going to say, before you give the example, ਅਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ, but the kidneys, the body starts to hold the water.
Yes.
Do you remember we said?
Yeah.
And that's where, you know, that's where the sacral energy is not working, because you then start going into survival mode.
That's right, yeah. So
I was just going to mention that bit.
So it sort of comes into the example, jitha I had somebody I worked with, मैं किसने काम किया सीगा, and उन्होंने दोनों ही kidneys काफी damaged सीगे, and for काफ़ी उम्र हो गई थी this person, so most of his life उम्र kidneys the problem से के दोनों ही. So because I knew this information, being a mental health practitioner, so I knew कि दाने सवाल पूछने to get to understand and the root cause किया ये बीमारी दा. So मैं सवाल पूछा सी लोग करे थोड़े life ऐसा होया सी, you just felt you were drowning, दूसरी बंदा डूबदा सीगा, pressure देना, डर देना, and funny enough, it's so strange good that I think this person 8 saal da siga, and he remembered that there was a trauma, very, very dramatic trauma that he had, that he, I think it was India to siga, and he was going towards just in Japani hunda to feed the like a mini chota ja lake jani hunda to take the it was the cow, I think it was a cow, he just taking there to get some water to drink, but he's holding the rope, but I don't know what happened. He goes, the cow suddenly panicked or something, said the pani which chala gaya, and I know, so he went into the water as well, pani which chala gaya, but obviously he couldn't swim.
Yeah.
So which pani to chal gaya, and all of a sudden he found himself, he was drowning. So as for an 8-year-old, it was a big shock. But I don't know how somebody must have found him, pulled it out. But trauma, it stayed buried and within his, you know, memory cells.
Yeah.
So that was one trauma, and then a few years later, I think his mum had passed away, Mummy puri ho gayi sigi, and then he felt the separation, lost then, feeling alone, and then I think soon after that, his dad got married, and his stepmother disowned him. They told, you know, his stepmother told his dad that send him to a boarding school. So then again, he felt alone and isolated, and felt there's a big trauma around disconnection. So like you're saying, he was in this fear of when somebody is alone. So in order to survive, the only thing that can keep somebody alive is water. That's the only way to survive from death, water. So the kidneys think, well, in order for, it started to, there's water retention, it started to hold on to the water instead of releasing the water like we normally do. So that's what's starting causing the problem, the illness in the kidneys, because he had this shock that I'm alone, and if I'm alone, if I can't get food, what keeps you alive is water for a longer period of time. So that's why the kidneys got affected. So every study will very precisely will affect that particular organ depending on what you're thinking about. So that's why it's all about disconnection, not feeling loved, not feeling fear, how am I going to survive. So all we gave description of all the thoughts and the traumas and the emotions, they're all correlated, matched exactly to the kidneys. Emotional meanings behind it. And
what you'll find over the time that we do the rest of the chakras, you'll notice that how we feel as individuals will connect to a certain part of your body. Like some of us, when we're unwell or stressed or angry, might get issues around our stomach area. You'll find that that will relate to that particular chakra. So when you're listening to these programs, just be mindful. Tusi socho bhi mere ethe dard hunda, mere othe dard hunda. Be that usually ਉਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਸ ਥਾਂ 'ਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਚੱਕਰ ਆ ਜਾਂ the spinning wheel ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ. So it's important ਵੀ ਉਹ ਥਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ to put it right.
ਹਾਂਜੀ, so every week ਅਸੀਂ ਸਮਝਾਉਂਗੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੋਚ ਉਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ organ ਤੇ ਅਸਰ ਪਾਊਗਾ, ਉਹੀ chakra ਤੇ ਅਸਰ ਪਾਊਗਾ. So we'll go through all the different ones, even lungs and heart. So today we're just talking about kidneys. So that's just one example, kidneys, the ਕਿਉਂ ਅਸਰ ਪੈਂਦਾ. And the other one we're going to discuss is the colon, the large intestines. And so this is the sochoge where you feel like a real anger gussa wala koi issue hoye conflict hoye where me cheez hajam nahi ho rahi maine aita kiya maine aita kita kyon kita you know koi banda just can't digest it they just don't want to accept it
gal koi apne piche rakhni hai chadni nahi hai
and inside I feel it's ripped out I'm not digesting this and then the people they feel violated they feel repulsive kitani hideous behavior you know they just feel a lot of anger so colon issues hanji or you know banda stuck with it and when she's stuck in it that's when we have issues with things like constipation garbage garbage or banda stuck with it they just don't want to let go of it so then we have people who have you know symptoms like IBS IBS is when it's very psychosomatic it's all the thodi soch hai bande kade kabaj hode hai kade diarrhea ho janda kade kabaj ke diarrhea kade but you have spasms and cramps so let's say a person who's got this large intestine colon issue and gussa hoye and kisi cheez nu dekh liya this triggered him but then he's away from that environment and then a few days later and then he finds diarrhea ho gaya so diarrhea usually means you let go of that thought you lost anything I don't feel stuck
ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੰਦ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ body ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਚ ਸੋਚ ਆ you've allowed it to let it go to release it
yes so these are the sort of stories examples that tells you that ਸਾਡੀ ਸੋਚ exactly ਉਹੀ organ ਤੇ ਅਸਰ ਪੈਂਦਾ so kabaj and diarrhea and all these sort of stomach issues it relates to somebody's feeling angry why are they feeling angry again because they're not being heard they feel frustrated they feel not feel loved
or suffocated
they're feeling suffocated and so that's when angry also when you don't feel the passion or the pleasure in life where they feel the creativity kuch nahi aata nahi kuch changi cheez nahi kuch lagdi so they're full of frustration and anger so these sort of like symptoms you see of the underactive chakra and the overactive when that's happening for those sort of things those thoughts affect our organs so we explained sort of kidney actually you said one about your mum the kidneys one
ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ I thought about my mom and she had kidney disease and there's a lot of ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਸੀਗਾ I really connected and thought about my mom because it was about abandonment about not to feel felt isolated not loved low self-worth all the negative things that we talked
so you can
about
see it's quite precise
it's very very precise ਨਾਲੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਈ ਲੋਕ ਇਸ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ believe ਕਰਦੇ ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡੂੰਘਾਈ 'ਚ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ you do think well there could be some truth in it
correlation
there is a relation ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ with the colon ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਢਿੱਡ ਤੇ ਅਸਰ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਆ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਕਿ ਢਿੱਡ 'ਚ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬੱਟ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਫਿਕਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ then you might have diarrhea like you say because you know you can't hold anything in your body because you're so worried so
actually diarrhea is the healing part that's a good bit because you're letting go of something gussa kabhi cheez pehla hajam nahi hundi sigi and then you're just letting it go jab gussa I was holding on to I just don't want to think about it and that's when the diarrhea comes
but it just goes to show ਵੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ it is good for you to ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਆ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ so then you can see ਵੀ ਆ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇਖਣ ਨਾਲ how you can heal those different areas your chakras and or your body whichever way you want to look at it so it's interesting isn't it
it is and because I do a lot of this sort of working with people who have symptoms and want to get to the root cause I think every time even like especially ladies with thyroid issues vagara we'll do that when we come to the throat chakra and but the always a very precise correlation that did that sort and something ohi organ te asar penda
the connection both stronger
and then like sometimes I see we get so absorbed into our story and our shock and our stress and then we're not actually paying attention to the root cause of what's causing that stress and problem and therefore symptoms body like in a way the symptoms are telling us that what ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਧਿਆਨ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਕਿਹੜੀ negative ਅਸੀਂ story ਦੇ ਨਾਲ attachment ਹੋਈ ਹੋਈ ਆ and that's what the symptoms are there it's like let's say Rab is trying to
signals
ਦੇ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਸੋਚ ਰਹੇ ਨਾ ਉਹ it's not coming out of love it's the opposite of love and now because of the opposite of love it's actually ਸਾਡੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਤੇ organs ਤੇ ਬੁਰਾ ਅਸਰ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਆ so the symptoms are always giving us messages
ਕਰਕੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਬਾਰੇ you can tell ਵੀ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਛੱਡਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਿਰ ਫਿਰ ਦੁਖੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਢਿੱਡ ਤੇ ਅਸਰ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਆ the negatives and the positives so ਸੋਚ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਸੱਚੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੋਊਗੀ ਵੀ So the whole point of this program is to kind of ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ forgive that spread.
And but last week as we talked about the root chakra. Root chakra is all about us feeling safe in this world. It is safe to exist in this world
and survive.
And we feel that we've been nurtured. All our resourcefulness are all taken care of. Our shelter, our food, and we just feel like So it's important to actually to heal and balance our sacral chakra, Pella, we need to do the root chakra first because we need to feel safe first. You need to feel that I am nurtured, I'm taken care of, I feel secure, I feel grounded. Because when a person feels safe, then the sacral chakra it balance much easier. Because then we feel safe in a relationship because sacral chakra is about relationships, about our connection to ourselves and to the world and society.
And
creativity. So if you don't feel safe, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੁਨੀਆ 'ਚ safe ਨਹੀਂ feel ਕਰਦੇ from the root chakra and safe in your being, then you're not going to feel comfortable, in relationships or have the, like you said, the passion or the optimism to be creative. So these all have to work in alignment with each other. So the root chakra balance and then the sacral chakra will balance automatically much effectively. So I always believe that it's best to do all of them. But at the end, once we've done all the chakras, you'll see that they're all
connected.
They're all connected, and you can't just do one or the other. I feel like you start with the root, then sacral, then we go through each one.
So I was just going to say ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਵੀ the root chakra ਉਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਫਾਊਂਡੇਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਤਕੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਫਿਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜੋ ਕੁਛ ਮਰਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਪਰ ਟਿਕਾਈ ਜਾਵੋ it's just gonna all fall down. So ਸਾਡੀ ਬੋਡੀ ਵੀ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਘਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਘਰ ਸਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਆ so by ਘਰ we mean our own body ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ sturdy ਹੈਗਾ strong ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਮਨ ਦੀ ਸੋਚ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਰੀਰ ਦੀ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਜ਼ੀਕਲੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸੈੱਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਖਾਣ ਪੀਣ ਦਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ things like that ਜੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੈੱਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਵੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਪਾਂ we're always going to be in survival mode and ਸਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਡਰ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਵੀ ਆ ਸੈੱਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਆ ਸਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ we haven't overcome the basics of who we are and that's the most important thing ਜੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ then we can ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਬਾਕੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਪਲੇਟਾਂ ਆ we need to just balance all of them but it all starts with the bottom.
It does, and like I said, if you have a very healthy relationship and you want to feel comfortable you've got a roof over your head, you've got the food, you've got the finances. So usually like a man, if you feel like he can't support his family, he hasn't got the finances, he doesn't feel like he's got a roof over his family, so then it's going to affect his relationship with his connections with everyone and the creativity part in his partnership in intimacy is sara fe bura asar penda. So that's why the root chakra is all about providing for all our earthly needs, and so it's very important to start from the root and then go upwards. Yes, and we're to go on to the conclusion. So what do you think?
What we're going to say to you now is remember chakra balancing is a lifelong journey, lifestyle, and it won't happen overnight. But these practices can help your sacral chakra, support you on the path to abundance, fulfillment and creativity. So ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰੋਗੇ root chakra ਤੋਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਪਿਛਲਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਕੇ then start on the sacral chakra ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਨੋਟਿਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਵੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਆ. And I was just going to go through those 6 things that we mentioned about how to improve your sacral chakra. So one's meditation, one was
the other one was about There's 3. Yeah, so colour, go for colour, orange bao.
Yeah, your diet. So eat orange things.
Yes, all the lovely like melons, mangoes, pumpkins, nuts, fermented foods. So that's a good one. And do some hip
opening exercises, yoga, dancing,
meditation we did, and being comfortable with the stillness,
meditation, mindfulness, ਵੀ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਲਈ and all the people around you ਤਾਂ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਲਿਖ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੂਡ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜੇ ਢਿੱਡ ਦੁਖਦਾ ਸਿਰ ਦੁਖਦਾ ਵੀ why, what's causing that ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਗਾਂ you can change that behavior. So we hope you've enjoyed. Well, actually, we've still got time.
Do a quick joke.
Yes. Before we finish off.
Okay. I'll let you choose.
I'll choose this one. So
that's an inspiration, or do you want to do
we'll
a
do
joke?
An inspiration.
Okay.
Whatever you are doing, love yourself for doing it. Whatever you are feeling, can you pick a different one as well?
Okay. Do you want another one?
Whatever you are feeling, love yourself for feeling it. ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰੋ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੋਚ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰੋ ਉਸ ਸੋਚ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਸੋਚਾਂ ਆ enjoy the feeling of and love yourself for whatever you're feeling.
Yes, that's a good one. Yeah. So we're coming to the end of the show now, actually. So I really enjoyed today doing the circle.
I loved
because
it.
All about connection. I was feeling connected, and the more I talk about this, the more I get to know some of the things I need to work on. So I really enjoyed it. So
and next week we'll be doing the third chakra, which will be the solar plexus. Thank you to all our viewers, and take care and have a great balancing of your sacral chakra.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.